What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, back with y'all on a Saturday night. Um, got something real interesting I want to go into tonight, and I hope that a few of y'all would join me and help me discuss it. I'm sure that there are people, and I'll repeat this again once we get a few people in, but I'm sure that there are people who want some game on this. And they may not have answers. They may be going through situations and they don't have the answers. And maybe myself, God willing, and maybe one of you will be able to provide some type of answers to some of the questions that people may have about this topic. And the topic that has been phrased in the form of a question. The topic that has been phrased in the form of a question. So y'all see the title. Y'all see the title, and we'll get right into it, man. And Adam Rocker said, "Am I first again?" That looks like it. Looks like it. Joseph come out the gate giving his answer, but we'll go into the different dimensions. What's up, Michelle? We'll go into the different dimensions and the layers of it because I think that a lot of people do have uh, a mindset that they are more so in a mode of like, you only get one chance with me. But I'm gonna talk about why that's good in some cases, but in some cases it's not, or it may not be. So let's go on this ride, and I hope you ain't been getting my notifications, Michelle. Man, I tell you, YouTube be doing me bad. They be doing me bad. Real bad. I mean, it happens. So you got to just double check. Sometimes if y'all are not getting notifications and y'all know I come on like every Friday for the most part, every Friday, and sometimes Saturday like tonight, just what you should do is just check the channel and see, because they've been unsubscribing people. Just check and see if you're still subscribed. And if you're not, just resubscribe and then just re-click the bell. And hopefully that'll keep you in pocket. Okay, well, this is what we're gonna do, man. The question said, how many chances is too many to give to people? So I want to lay out a few scenarios where it may be debatable over whether or not somebody should get a second chance. Now, who was that? Joseph kind of jumped ahead what I was going to say, but I'm glad he did, because there are some people who, no matter what happens, no matter who it is, no matter what the situation, they have it in their mind like, you burn me once, it's a wrap. You only get one chance. And if you somehow rub me wrong on that one chance, I'm done. There are people who think like that. But I think we have to be more detailed and put every situation where a chance can or cannot be given. We got to put that in a context that will determine whether or not it will make sense. Now, I was thinking about the situation where some years ago, a few years back, not a long time ago, but within maybe 5 years, I want to say, there was a brother who was in the club, and he was in the club and he accidentally stepped on this guy's shoe. Now, we know from way back, anybody that's back in the days old enough to just remember these kind of situations, somebody step on your shoe, you got people that were ready to fight, people ready to pop off, you stepped on their shoe. Then you got other people that would say, oh man, ain't no big deal, no problem. But this brother stepped on this other guy's shoe, and from what I hear, how the story goes, y'all follow me. The brother who stepped on the other guy's shoe, he immediately apologized and said, "Oh man, I'm sorry, man, my bad." Sincerely apologized, but the person who got their shoe stepped on didn't want to hear it. Didn't want to hear it, and I don't know if he had a gun on him. I don't know if he would get one, but the end result was that he went and got his gun, or he pulled out a gun. The gun was pulled at some point, and the man who stepped on his shoe was shot and killed. No second chance, no leniency, no um, care about it being a mistake, no care about an apology being given. It's just you stepped on the wrong person's shoe that night and ended up having to die, even though you were 100% sincere. That's an extreme case where you look at somebody and say, okay, well, why was the shoe that got stepped on more important than the life of the person who did the stepping? That speaks to something going on up here. And it's not always a clinical mental illness. It's just a type of mental illness, uh, non-diagnosed, but yet rooted in something that will make you say, I'm going all out. So now this guy's probably sitting in prison and probably never gonna get out because he wasn't willing to give a second chance. Now, you have other scenarios where people may say you don't get a second chance. Um, you come home, you catch your husband or your wife doing something that they don't have any business doing with another person, and you catch them right in the act. Or even if you don't catch them in the act, you find out that the infidelity has been going on. And there are some people who, like, despite how long we've been together, despite all of the good times we've had, despite uh, the assets that we may have accumulated together and built, children, whatever it is, it's over. It's a wrap. Because in that moment, they feel like, they've been violated in a way that they really, they can't return from. It's like there's no return from this. I can't let you back in. And I understand that scenario to a degree as well, even though there are many people, more people than you would believe. You would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be. Maybe you one of them. Maybe you've been on either end of that. But many people uh, have been in those situations in relationships or marriage, and they stay together. They give that person not only a second chance, but in some cases, multiple chances. Now, once the behavior gets to the point where it goes into multiple offenses, then you have to look at yourself. It's no longer about the person who violated you at this point. It's about that person that first or second time. By the time you have allowed somebody to do the same thing to you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times, it's no longer on them. You know how that saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. When it gets past, what is it when it's fool me 5 times? It just stays on me. But that speaks more to you now, because now there are issues, and there are issues, matters of low self-esteem, matters of self-hate, matters of things going on with your personal self that you have to deal with, because now you are allowing somebody to just do you any kind of way. And a second chance or a third chance or a chance period should be based around uh, the belief, as if you give the chance. Listen to what I'm saying. It should be based around the belief and the hope that the person you're giving the second or third chance to has learned the error of their ways and is now uh, not going to do it no more. They've convinced you through some means that they're not going to do it anymore. And whatever presentation that they relayed to you in that manner and in that vein, it convinced you well enough to say, all right, okay, I'm gonna let it, I'm gonna let it go this time. You know that, because that's what we say. All right, man, I'll let it go this time, but you can't ever do that again. You can't never do that again. Or if you do that one more time, this and this and that is gonna happen. You know, and we all have said that, or we have all had that said to us. So, but those moments again are based on the belief that person has made you have. They're not gonna do it anymore, whether they lying or telling the truth. Because a person can tell you sincerely that they feel bad about it, that they were wrong, they're not gonna do it no more, and they can mean it. They can really mean it, and then still turn around and do it again later on. What is one of the greatest examples of that? One of the greatest examples of people like that, or people who would do that, would be um, drug addicts. See, when your mind is controlled by a substance, you may be a really good person underneath that addiction. Underneath that addiction, you're a great person. But that substance that has control over you, that has taken over your mind and your body, and now you've developed this chemical dependence to where your body cries out for this drug. You got to have it. You listen what I'm saying. You got to have it. It's not even an option for you not to get it. In your mind, in certain moments, the human side of you, it still exists. It's still there. So it's still like, man, I feel bad. So you say, man, I know I stole that money from you, man. I feel so, man. I'm not gonna do, man. I'm gonna get myself cleaned up, man. I'm checking into the rehab tomorrow, man. And you really mean that. But when that itch comes back and it starts to bother you, then you run to it. You go back to it, because that urge is stronger than, in that moment, that urge proves itself to be stronger than your ability to fight it. And it proves itself to be stronger than um, even your word to the person that you burn. And it don't matter if it's your mama, don't matter if it's your wife, husband, brother, best friend, son, daughter, baby. It don't matter. You'll run back to that thing that you said you wouldn't run back to. So, second chance, third chance. It reaches a point where people start to cut you off. And since everybody's rope is different, everybody's rope has different lengths to them, right? So it's somebody you burned that first time and they cut you off. Somebody you stole from 4 or 5 times and they still holding on that you're gonna get it together. That could be mama. That's normally how mama get down. But sometimes mama don't play like that. Sometimes mama like, shh, oh, you on that stuff? Oh, you done. You out of here. So second chances are, it's layers to it. So we got to be careful when we take on this mindset that, you know, you only get one chance. Meaning that y'all was good, they messed up, it was over. But depending on the severity of it, because I do believe that there are situations where you should only get that one chance, where it's certain things that you mess up on and you're done. There is no second chance, and I don't want to get too graphic, I guess. I don't want to get too extreme with it, but God forbid, you catch somebody trying to do something inappropriate to your child, your baby, or your daughter, something like that. It ain't no second chance for that. It's no second chance for that. So that's just a scenario that I'll throw out like that. But general things, certain little things that I may have mentioned or that I'll get to, sometimes we might be jumping the gun to be so quick to just cut somebody off or condemn somebody. And sometimes we make the mistake of cutting people off or condemning people when we know that the thing that they did was unintentional. Now it's different if, okay, well, like I say, your husband or your wife cheat on you or something like that. They knew they was doing that, But if there's an honest mistake, just name me an honest mistake. You got a cousin that's a plumber, and you ask him to come over and I'm gonna go something like that. You got a neighbor, and your neighbor asked to use your lawnmower. He lives right across the street, and he's cutting his grass. You looking dead at him, and somehow he runs over something in the grass and breaks the lawnmower somehow. And he didn't try to do it. It was an honest accident, honest mistake. And you just take it to the extreme. Like I said with the brother who stepped on the other brother's shoes. You just take it to the extreme. Man, you broke my lawnmower, man. You better pay me my money, man. And oh man, I'm sorry, man. It was an honest mistake. Dude pay you back and you still, man, I don't fool with him no more, man. He tore my property up, man. And it's like, come on, bro. Come on, man. And there's people that they get down like that. It's like they treat you and they treat others as if you are supposed to be 100% flawless and perfect. Like you are, if you are not perfect in every movement in your life, if you are not flawless in all of your movements, and one of those flaws affects them, then you become the worst person in the world. All the while having this mindset, while the whole time being a flawed individual yourself. You ain't perfect either. You're not perfect either. So it's really borderline hypocritical to carry yourself in that way where you hold others to a standard that you yourself can't and don't live up to. You are not, it's not beyond you to make an honest mistake. It's not beyond you to make a dishonest mistake. It's not beyond you to do some of the things that you've condemned other people for. You may already be doing those type of things, right? You just haven't got busted yet. You haven't got in the situation that person got in. So now you kind of just in the comfort zone and thinking it's all good. But we also don't factor in when we ready to say, man, you don't get no more chance with me. You done. You cut off for this. You cut off for that. We don't factor in how many chances that God gives us. Because what if the Creator thought like we thought? What if His rope was that short? Was as short as our rope is? What if His got a trusty pair of scissors right here in front of me? What if His scissors? What if He always had His scissors like this at all times, ready to cut you off? Cut you off every time you mess up. Now think about that. What if you had $1, just $1? What if you had $1 for every chance that God has given you in your life when you messed up? $1. How much money do you think that you would have if you had to give an estimate on how many times God said, Ty God said, I'll be a billionaire? But see, that's honest, because it speaks to us knowing that Jimmy said, I'll be a rich man. It speaks to us knowing that we're not perfect. So the same patience in certain situations that we would want others to have with us, the same forgiveness that we would want others to have for us, is the same forgiveness and patience that we should be practicing, um, exercising with other people, depending on the context. Now, I laid out context in a couple of situations. Now, there's certain things, man. If I walk in and you're strangling my nephew, and I find out my nephew wasn't trying to do nothing to take your life, and you was defending yourself, and okay, you just decided to do it, or you robbing? Nah, man, I ain't at that level yet. But basic general things, man, that we will end very good friendships or relationships behind because we so quick to condemn. We got to practice using the same patience and forgiveness that God uses with us, having the same merciful spirit, even though it won't be the same, but having a merciful spirit when the situation warrants that. When it warrants that. And we'll go into some other scenarios of why we are borderline hypocritical when it comes to second chances. I think about our spending habits, right? I think about our spending habits. And there are places that we go that don't always treat us right. They don't always treat us right when we go to these places. You may go to a restaurant in an upscale side of town, and you may be from another side of town, and you looked at a little funny when you approach the door to this restaurant or when you walk into the door of this restaurant. And it's clearly seen that these people don't want you in there. So the treatment that you receive is not the same as the treatment of somebody else that is welcomed in there. And I'm not talking about no dress code, because if a place has a dress code implemented, then if you don't want to respect the dress code, you go find you somewhere else to go. That's just the reality of it. I don't knock a place that has a dress code, because It's their company. They laid out those rules, and I can't show up with a hoodie on, walking in. Yeah, what's up, man? How much is it to get in here, man? And they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. This is a more casual to uh, whatever dress code. You can't wear tennis shoes. You can't. You got to come more." I can't get mad at that if they don't want to let me in. I got to respect the rules of that establishment. And if I did not know coming in, and they tell me, I can't, man, I ain't know. I can't, I drove all the way. No. Well, you didn't know. You know now. If you don't know now, you know. So you got to respect that. I'm talking about just basic treatment, how the hostess greeted you, how it took 40 minutes before somebody even came to your table to ask you to take your order, how rude the waitress was, all these different factors. They didn't appreciate your service, your patronage at all. They didn't appreciate none of that. It's places like that all the time that we continue to go back to and spend our money with, right? Why? Because it's so-called the spot to be. It's you've heard people talking about it. It's supposed to be high class, and or if you go there, that's where the ballers go. That's where the people with the big money go. So you want to kind of present yourself in that light. Oh yeah, well, we ate at such and such last night, but they don't even like you. Who are those designers that made their clothes? They were top name uh, clothing designers, and there have been several of them. I think Tommy Hilfiger was one. Back in the days, Gloria Vanderbilt was another one. And they made comments about how their clothes really weren't for black people. I don't really make my clothes for black people, or if they didn't say they didn't make their clothes for black people, they said something along the lines like they didn't really want black people to buy them or didn't care, blah blah. You know, and in some cases, we still wearing it. We still went out and bought it. We still went out and spent $300 for Tommy Hilfiger wristband or something, because we look at it like, oh, that's Ralph Lauren, that's Polo, that's Ralph Lauren, that's it's Gucci, that's Versace. What's another one? And we get caught in these names that have been uh, elevated and presented to us in such a light that we don't even care if the very designer of these clothes don't even like us. We still give them our money time and time and time again. So they get multiple chances. But then when you got a black owned business in the neighborhood trying to come up, they make an honest mistake with your food, or just keeping it real, just being real. They, Burberry, they may be rude sometimes. They may be dismissive sometimes. They may be unprofessional sometimes. They may be disorganized sometimes. But yet, when it comes to that, You reach behind, you like Bugs Bunny. You just be like this here, and all of a sudden, soon they mess up, you just whoop. How you just happen to pull out a pair of scissors and you cut them off instantly. Why? Why don't they get a second chance or a third chance? Especially the ones who, like I said, are making honest mistakes. And I think that is the difference. That's one of the ways that we can kind of distinguish how or if we should give the chance if we determine whether or not the chance was the mistake was an honest mistake. That's what it boils down to. And some people you can talk to, some businesses you can talk to. You can say, "Hey, man, I really, really want to support you, man, but you know, the way that the hostess talked to me, man, I wasn't fitting that, man. There's something going on, or it's ways, and if the owners and the managerial staff and those people have understanding, the right understanding, then they'll peep that and they'll try to rectify whatever the problem was that you had, if it's a legitimate claim, right? But we don't like to give each other those chances like that. But I know, speaking on me as a black dude, there have been multiple hundreds and thousands of convenience stores, corner stores in our neighborhoods from the time I can remember being alive. From the first time I was able to walk to the store by myself or walk to the store with my friends. From the early days, nobody that looked like me ever owned one of those stores. Never owned one of those stores. And these are the stores that we would walk into. And back in the days, they would follow me throughout the store. They would tell you to hurry up. They would rush you out the store. And they would say, "Are you going to buy something? If you're not going to buy something, you need to hurry up and leave. Hurry up and leave if you're not going to buy nothing." These are the same stores that would, this is facts. I'm telling you something that I went through. I'm making this up. I can remember many times being young and grown where you might be like a nickel short. Whoever went to the store and was like 5 cents short, a dime short, 3 pennies short, and they still didn't like, "All right, don't worry about it. This is only a nickel." Because they would rather miss out on the whole. Now you got $5.25 worth of items, and you only got $5.20. And you say, "Oh man, I'm 5 cents short, man. Can you let me make it?" No. Wow. Now some will. I'm not gonna act like every place is like that. Some will. But there have been multiple times throughout my life where I was a dime short, a nickel short, and I either had to go back to the car to go look for some loose change, to go find a dime or get a nickel out the cup holder. I had to ask one of the homies who I was in the store with, "Hey man, give me a quarter, man. Give me a dime, man. I ain't gonna say a quarter. Give me a nickel or a dime." Because I wouldn't expect you to let me make it with 25 cents. Okay, 25 cents is a little more respectable, even though it's not a lot of money. But I'm not gonna come in if it costs $1.50. I'm not gonna say, "Man, I only got 125. You gonna let me make it?" Nah, man, that's a little far out. But anywhere between a penny and a dime, and I'm not a repeat offender. I'm not coming in the store every day trying to get something shaved off. It's not cool. No, yeah. So when they do that, guess what's going to happen tomorrow? They treat you like that. They're going to talk about you and look over your shoulder like you're stealing something. They show you exactly how they feel about you every time you come in their store, because all you are is $1 to them. But guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? We going to come right back in that store the next day. See? Brother Chris just answered the question. This is a really good answer. How many chances is too many chances to give people? Referring to the title. His answer says, when you look up and you realize that they are aware and knowingly don't give a damn. Think about that. Because that's one of the times, like I gave an extreme example about, yeah, you walk in a room and somebody's violating your baby, though, that's one time, it's over. But what Brother Chris just dropped is another example. When you realize that somebody is purposely trying to use you, no more chances. It's over. What if you got a phone call? I'm gonna build on Brother Chris's answer. What if you got a phone call from somebody that was close to you, and in that phone call, that person say, "Hey man, and they about to kick me out, man. They about to kick me out of my house, man. I need to borrow $500, man. So they won't kick me and my family out my house." And then you say, "Okay, man, all right, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of that. Don't worry about it. I'll bring it by there." So you give them the 500, and then y'all gonna hang out later. You get there a little late, and as you coming around the corner, you hear him on the phone. "Yeah, man, I told that fool that my rent was due. They was gonna kick me out. That fool gave me $500, man. Yeah, he fell for that. He fell for that again. Yeah, no doubt, man. Now we gonna ball out this weekend, bro." What if you heard that? He didn't know you was right behind him. Or he said, "Yeah, baby girl, I'm gonna get that dress for you now. We good. Yeah, I just got my homeboy. He a sucker. I just got him to give me $500. So baby, I'll be over there in a little bit." What if you heard that? Cut off. Cut them off. It's kind of an example. Because what we have a problem with as people, as good people, what a lot of y'all who are good people, who have good hearts, what y'all have a problem with is believing that somebody that you care about, that you love, that you would go to the ends of the earth for, you have a problem believing that they don't feel the same way about you. Not only do you have a problem believing that they don't feel the same way about you, you have a further problem believing that they would intentionally mess over you. "Nah, man, my boy wouldn't do that, man. Nah, man, I ain't trying to hear it. Baby would never do me like that. Nah, man. She just told me yesterday she loved me." It ain't what you say, is what you display. It's not about what a person say. It's all about what the person display. It's what they show you. And examples of one-sidedness are a clear indicator of what you need to do. Because too many stories, y'all know people, you probably have been in those situations where you just broke your back for somebody and you needed something real lightweight. Hey man, you got a hat I could wear to the thing tonight? Man, don't let nobody wear my hats. What? Fool, I just bailed you out of the county last month. And I just asked you to borrow a hat. See, things like that, it shows you who people are, how they are, and how they really feel about you. There are people who they feel a certain way about you, like they're not gonna do that for you. They're not gonna do the smallest, slightest things for you. You do the biggest things for them. They don't do the smallest things for you. You have to not be blind and naive to that. That's when you pull out your scissors, pull them out, cut them off. Snip, snip. And we're wired up so backwards. Our wires are so crossed that, again, we forgive those who shouldn't be forgiven, and we cut off those who shouldn't. So you lose good people out of your life, and because your wires are crossed up. That's why you see a lot of people, like artists, famous people, and that they get caught up because of the people that they have around them, the entourages and all that. They get caught up behind those people because the people that really care about them and care about their well-being, they're on the outside looking in going, man, I don't trust them folks. I don't know who these new people that he got around him. The real ones, the ones that always been there with him, they can't even get to him no more. Because she's now been insulated inside this wall of users and entourage and hangers on and all those type of people who just there for the benefits of what that person can offer. See? So it is a time to be a one-hitter quitter, but you got to use it when it's necessary to use. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Read y'all's comments. Michelle says, I dumped a so-called friend of 25 years because she said one white privileged racist comment. I bounced from her so fast, didn't know she was like that. And I think that's one of the more disappointing aspects of that is when you've been around somebody thinking that they were one way for a while, and then you find out that they were another way, and it catches you off guard. It just floors you like, whoa. Because people could say something. Somebody will say something to you, man, that you would never think, like, why are you saying that? I would never think that you would say that to me. Say something like that to me. And typically what that means is that depends on what was said. People can say something to you that will reveal to you who they are, how they're put together, right? But people can also say something to you that reveals to you how they was thinking about you and how they felt about you all along. Both sides of that are really shocking, but I think the one that would bother most people the most would be the one where if somebody says something to you that makes you go, man, that's how they really thought about me all this time. So you go through that little movie reel in your mind where the highlights are playing, you picturing, you remembering all the times y'all was laughing and hanging out and joking. You remember all the times that y'all was uh, talking about plans and stuff, building a business. All the time that you had in your mind, if something happened, I got their back. All the time that um, you listened to their problems and they listened to yours, and y'all traded deep dark secrets and all that, and they felt a certain way about you the whole time. They really wasn't rocking with you like that. They really didn't even like you like that. That's more disappointing. Like, wow, it catches you like, wow, because you didn't feel like that about them. You didn't feel like that about them. You was like, hey, that's my thick and thin. But the reality is, you have to cut a person like that off because they're dangerous. It's more dangerous to have somebody close to you in your circle that's pretending to be down with you, but they really not. In their heart and their spirit, they don't like you. For whatever reason, they jealous, envious, they don't like you. So it's a blessing to find that out about people as soon as you possibly can, because that's the definition of keeping your enemies close unintentionally. People say, oh, keep your enemies close. I don't know who made that up, but I never liked that statement. It never made sense to me. Keep your enemies close. Why? So you can always know their moves. And look, man, I don't have any interest in being close to my enemies. I don't have any interest in being in position where my enemies are close to me. Because keeping my enemies close to me means that I'm close to them. But keeping your enemies close unintentionally means that you didn't even know that person was your enemy. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Judge people based on how they treat you, how they are when they're with you. Do they have your back? Judge people off of that. Go by that. Narcissism says, cross me, you lost me. Now, let me go into a different layer of it, because I spoke about people who may make an honest mistake and still get cut off, which I believe that's just kind of kind of messed up. You know somebody didn't try to do something, you know. Then you have people who, like I say, they knew that they was being dirty and they tried it and you found out and you caught them, you cut them off. Okay, cool. But what about somebody who knew they was being dirty? They got caught. You tried them. I mean, you checked them. They tried it with you. You checked them. And they sincerely felt bad about it. And over time, not even over time, they presented themselves in a way that to say that they were not going to do it anymore. And they may really mean it. Not the ones, like I said earlier, that's going to keep burning you over and over again. I think y'all may say, well, how do you know that they're not going to do it again? I would go on their history. Somebody had never done nothing like that before, nothing wrong like that. Like y'all got love for each other, man. You might say, all right, man. Do you cut those people? Do you pull the scissors out the first time those type of people, family members and all that? What do y'all say? I'm reading what y'all saying, man. Let me try to catch up. All right, here we go. Let's see what happened. We're not gonna jump off topic. We're not gonna jump off topic, y'all. We got Rapper K 2 nights in a row. Rapper K is in the building. South Park Coalition original OG is in the building 2 nights in a row. Yeah. Don't give them no light. Willie D gave a great point of view on handling enemies. I agree with that. The don't give them no light, because this is what happens a lot of times. A lot of times people will attack you, right? For whatever reason. People will try. Sometimes if you're doing something, people will try to come at you to get a rise out of you so they can get on by jumping on the bandwagon of your success. And if they can start a beef with you, it could bring attention to them. So you have to be smart enough to say, I'm not going to let you use me to try to elevate yourself. But if we get emotional and decide that, oh man, I can't go by what he said, I got to respond. I got to respond to that. Depends on the situation. But you don't let a troll come into your life and come into your situation and then take you out of character to where now you have to start focusing your attention on the troll, and now you putting the troll in the spotlight. So yeah, I agree with Willie D's angle on that, because you're making a mistake by that's what they want. And you have people who are professional. Um, they specialize in ignorance. They're professional dumb talkers. You're not going to beat them talking stupid. You're not going to be able to beat them. That's what they do. They're pros at it. You're not going to talk louder than them. You're not going to be able to compete with them and being ignorant and cussing, and not going to be able to compete with them doing that. And you shouldn't even want to compete with them doing that. So you leave it alone. It's like reading a comment about yourself in a comment section. I put my song up on a social media site, and then all of a sudden somebody, oh man, this is trash. You should retire. You should never rap again. And I start, why would I do that? Now I done made somebody famous. Resist the devil, and he'll do what? You just don't give it back to him, man. Don't even give it back to him. And what they'll do, they'll find somebody else. Oh, he don't want to play. He don't want to dance. He don't want to play. I tried it with him. It didn't work. Let me go try it with somebody else, because that's what they do. They trying to hit a lick, and sooner or later they find a person that's going to give them that energy back, that's going to engage. And when they find that person that's going to engage, they got you. They got you. Yeah, man. So how many chances is too many? Hold on, I'm gonna read a few more comments before I. Is that JLL Bori? I did, and it cost some of them a great deal to even talk to me again. For others, I placed a wall greater than that in China. Yeah, but that sounds to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that sounds to me like you were dealing with two different people, or two different types of people, groups of people, and you had to discern the difference. You had to distinguish the difference to say, okay, this guy, this group, they have to earn their way back. They have to earn their way back into my good graces, because I don't feel like they really evil like that. They got to earn their way back. But these other cats, I done built the Great Wall of China. It's over. And that's the thing. Some people, you give them another shot based on what it is, who it is, and the intentions. Other people, one hit a quitter. Gavin says there are levels to it, obviously, but we got to know and remember what the limits are. Be no man's doormat. That's right, limits. It's a limit. Yep. Let me see. I'm trying to find y'all comments. I'm looking for something that's gonna blow our mind tonight. Hold on a second, y'all. Diego says, really, these days, I'm thinking one chance these days, especially disrespect, jealousy, and lies. But is that applicable all the way across the board for every scenario? Just everybody? What if your son or your daughter makes a mistake? One chance for them? Is it just that all the way across the board? No matter who it is? Jay Billy, the internet got everybody under that digital hypnosis. That's right. Come on, man. Now, some people say, Man, I don't give, man. You don't get no second chance with me. You don't get a second chance with me. Yet, you give politicians chance after chance after chance after chance. That's one of the biggest and greatest examples of how wired up backwards we are, because you won't forgive your brother, your sister, your people. You won't forgive them, but yet we'll forgive lying, crooked politicians all day long. We will forgive, not necessarily give an individual politician chance after chance, even though that happens. But what we give chance after chance to is the construct, the system itself that pops out these politicians like, like toast out of a toaster, right? And they pop out carbon copies of the same types of political characters decade after decade, and we fall right into the same pattern of, I'm gonna trust this one. Oh, he's saying this now. He said he's gonna do that, but he said he's gonna do that. He said that he's gonna change the. That's what the last one said. That's what the other one said. And it don't really matter what party it is. Every political party, every political candidate, no matter what the party, they pretty much make the same promises to us, right? The Republicans claim that they're going to do the same thing that the Democrats claim that they're going to do. But neither one does any of what they say they're going to do. So it turns into a matter of, which liar do you believe the most? Well, whose lie was the most convincing? Strange. But how many chances should people get? How many chances should politicians get? How many do we give them? How many have we given them over the years? How have we benefited from giving them all these chances? Have we benefited from giving them all these chances? Who has come along in the political arena since the time you have been alive? And answer the question honestly. Don't answer on emotion. Don't answer on favoritism. Don't answer because you are committed to a political party. Answer with honesty and truth. Which politician, since you have been alive, has actually made a difference in changing the direction and fixing the trajectory of the country and of your personal life and your personal situation? Who's done that? Because I've never been alive where inflation wasn't an issue, where the economics of the country wasn't jacked up. The deficit gets greater and greater with each president that comes into office. Crime has not stopped. Racism has not stopped. Police brutality has not stopped. Corruption within government has not stopped. So who's really made a difference for the better? Who? Which one of them? Give me one. Because no matter who's been there, no matter how good they talk, no matter how convincing and articulate and eloquent they speak, the country is still on a downward spiral. The country is still doing this. Still doing this. Somebody, have anybody made it do this? Just this, much less this. But yet, it's coming along soon. We're getting ready for it. We're gearing up. It's almost election season again. And guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be right back out there arguing, fussing, fighting, and possibly killing because of our allegiance to another liar. And it could be potentially one of the same liars who we've already had. But the point I'm making is that these are the type of cats that we give second chances to, and third chances, and fourth chances. But your brother, your sister, like my guy said earlier, his motto is what he said: if you cross me, you lost me. You cross me. He said, you cross me, you lost me. I mean, how many times had the government crossed us? And they still ain't lost us. Man. Brandon says, since 1991, I ain't heard about a good president people truly stood behind. Yeah, the people that stood behind, many of them, but they don't stand. See, it's impossible for me to stand behind something or someone, and that someone simultaneously stands behind me. If I'm standing behind you, you can't stand behind me. Now, if we try to do it in order, like, okay, I'm going to stand behind you because of what you said you would do, we'll stand behind you to get you in, then the roles have to reverse. The role is supposed to reverse, and now you should be standing behind us. But we all know what happens once they get in. Once they get in, they go, oh, whew, got him, got him. We fooled them, boy. They dapping each other up, boy. That lie you told about making sure that everybody gonna get $3,000 a month just because they believed it. People want to be flagellated by puppets. And the question we never ask is, hold on, let me read your comment again before I speak on that. Yeah. The politicians are puppets. So we are gravitating towards the puppets. Man, I got to figure out which one of these puppets I'm going to ride with. Not realizing that if it's a puppet, where there's a puppet, there's a puppeteer. A puppeteer is the one who controls the puppet. The hand is up the butt of the puppet doing this, controlling. But we looking at the puppet. on, man. How many chances should people get? The answer to the question is it depends on who the person is, who's a candidate to get the chance. Y'all drop y'all locations, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all long tonight. Somebody showed me some love. Hold on, let me go back. That was Gavin McDonald. I appreciate the love, appreciate the donation, man. We got to watch our hybrids, fam. Appreciate the donations, Gavin. Yeah. Drop y'all locations. Let me shout y'all out. I ain't gonna be on here long tonight. Read the Scroll says September 11th, 1991 was when George Bush gave his New World Order speech. I was having a conversation because when you said George Bush, it made me think about something. As much corruption as you see a lot of these politicians do when they're in office, right? And some that are not in office, they're in other positions in other offices, but they may not be in a high seat, but they still can legislate and influence and all that, right? But as much corruption as you see presidents do, it's always amazing how once they're out of office and then years later when they all old and decrepit, now everybody just holds them in such a high regard and such a high light. I was having a conversation about the Queen of England the other day. I ain't gonna say who I was having a conversation with because they might not want me to mention their name in that kind of talk. But I was talking about how just because somebody lives to be old or becomes old, because when you become old, you don't have the energy that you used to have, right? So if you don't have the energy that you used to have, you may not be able to make the moves that you used to make. You may not be in the seat that you used to be in to make the moves, right? When you become old, you start to take notice of your own mortality, meaning that you start to think about the fact that, well, you know what? I'm 79 now. I got more years behind me than I do in front of me. They start thinking like that. So in some cases, they come to this thought that maybe I need to start trying to get myself right. If there is a place we go after we die, they start to think about that, right? So now we have this charitable contribution. Now, because of the position you may have had, that you had, somebody may come along and say, well, we're going to name this the George Bush Youth Foundation, and it will live on. It'll be a part of. So you start to see little things like that pop up, and it puts you in a mind frame where it can make you forget how dirty and evil this sucker was when he was in office. How dirty and evil the queen was when she was in her seat, when she was on the throne. Now she's old and now she's They wheel them out there. They bring them out there, and everybody just the Queen. But then when you don't even have to do a deep dive. When you just do a little dive and just kind of go into the history of the Queen. Let's go into the history of Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. See, Bill Clinton's old now. So you see Bill Clinton now, he got all this white hair and he's a little fragile now. And hey, how's it going? But Bill had us fooled when he was in office. So Bill might not be a good example because black folks was loving Bill Clinton when he was in office and he played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show. They was like, whoo, Bill Clinton, boy. That's my dude, boy, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was getting fellatio in the Oval Office, boy. Black folks were like, whoo, that's my boy right there, boy. Bill, boy. Bill is a real N-word. See, I knew Bill was one of us. But Bill Clinton is responsible in part with people like current President Joe Biden. He is responsible for locking more black folks up probably than any president. I got to do the math and do some fact checking, but when they passed that crime bill, when Bill passed the bill, that law made it possible for black people to be disproportionately incarcerated in the most unfair drug laws ever instituted in the United States that I can think of. But we love Bill Clinton, even to this day. I ain't gonna say what I was about to say. But when these people live to be old, now they so revered. They say, oh, look at him. Oh, they brought him out. Some of the evilest people in the world. Y'all give them chance after chance. If the same George Bush who Read the Scroll was just talking about, which was George Bush's son, George Herbert Walker Bush. That's why he put the HW, because George Herbert Walker Bush was the son of the other George Bush that was the president before Obama. He's still around. He still got a little, he ain't reached that point to where he's just old and like his dad and his mom. How many chances, man? Did y'all drop y'all locations, man? The war on drugs. Yeah, that's right. 3, visual. The war on drugs. Did y'all drop y'all location? Oh, yes, y'all did. I see it. I had to go back. I got it. Y'all ain't got to do it again. Leave the World Behind Us shows us that. I haven't watched that yet. I've seen people say, don't watch that movie. I'm like, why? Brandon in Wisconsin, Anamanarchy in Ontario, Ty Guy 1, South St. Paul. Diego was in Austin. Diego, we coming to Austin. South Park Coalition, we coming to do a show in Austin, man. If you want to see us live, send me an email and I'll put you on the contact list so you'll know when the show is. It's at Luway in New Jerusalem, JL El Bori in Orlando, Florida. Hold on, I don't want to skip nobody. Jay Villi is in Calgary, Canada in the building. Read the Scroll is in Beaumont, Virginia. Halfton is in Iceland. I ain't gonna try to say the city. Is that Reykjavik? That's Iceland. Christopher X, OKC. Y'all got a nice squad out in OKC this year, man. Ty God, thank you. Thank you for all you done for me. Thank God for what he done for us all. Asiatic, is that what is that? Asiatic Sigma. Ocean State, Rhode Island. OG Critic is in San Marcos. Old 102 Drought, El Paso, Texas. Erica is in Lumberton, Texas. Gavin is in Australia. 3 Visual. I can't say the middle part. Is that OL? It's in Quebec, Canada. Canada representing hard, man. Hey, man. Shout out to Canada, man. My homie Tragic. The album is called 7 Hour Block. Hey, man, who does not have these 2 CDs right now? I don't want to hear y'all say, man, I don't listen to CDs. I listen to all digital. Forget that. If you don't have these 2 CDs, just say me. And I'm going to tell you how to get them. And more. MF Pabs is in Springfield, Missouri. Bubba C's out there in Orange, Texas. Orange, Texas in the building. Bubba C's, I appreciate the love, man. I just saw your donation too. Appreciate the love, Bubba. Who else we got? That's it. That's what it is, man. Okay. I need y'all to go subscribe to the Underground Dialogue podcast. I ain't gonna do a bunch of commercials tonight. If y'all haven't subscribed to my podcast yet, please do so tonight. And when you subscribe, go watch an episode. I think you'll be entertained. I don't know. You might be bored out of your mind. I don't know. You might fall asleep in the middle of it. Go watch it anyway. Yeah. All right, man. Leave the World Behind Us has a lot of our teachings in it. What channel is that on? What can I watch that at? Might do it tonight. Got an easy night tonight. I might watch the movie tonight. What channel is it on? I mean. Look. Go on their website I just put down in the box and order these 2 new albums from me. Get them on CD. And still get them on the digital. Or else I ain't gonna give y'all no second chance. I'm just joking. The Objective News. Thank you so much for the donation, man. Future Shock. Y'all like that Future Shock? Shout out to Tragic for the production. Netflix, okay. I was just wondering. Appreciate you, Brandon. Brandon said, I'm going to head over to the podcast as soon as I get a chance. But thank you, man. Thank you for the pledge. See, that's what's called a pledge. I'm going to do it. When you say I'm going to do it. But the back end of the pledge is to keep your word. The Zero interview is done. We just haven't aired the episode yet. It's going to be dope. Y'all going to love that Zero interview. It'll be up. We expediting that one. So I want to say by Monday. By Monday, the Zero interview will be up. Yeah. All right, man. 5 more minutes. Anything y'all want to relay in these next 5 minutes? K4 Real is out there in Oakland. I scrolled back up and saw you, homie. Oak Town. No, not South by Southwest, Diego. It's just going to be a show, an SPC show. We might end up back out there in March for South by Southwest. Who knows? But we're probably going to do this show in February, the one I'm talking about. Hold on, I got some more shout-outs. Jimmy in Alabama. Catlin Newport. What's I and I? What's I and I? Is that Jackin H. Gar in Georgetown, Texas? I know I said your name wrong. I just know I did. Yep. Trusting politicians is like trusting the police. Yeah. Five more minutes, 4 more minutes, 3 more minutes, y'all. We're going to get right here right at hour and a half. See, I ain't hold y'all long at all tonight. Feel like it's something I'm forgetting. It's all love, man. Appreciate you, brother Chris. Man, my homie. My brother, my homie. All praise is due to Allah. K for real indeed. Is that Thiedemann? Have me and Zero done any collabs? Yeah, we got a few. Got a bunch of collabs with Zero. You got to go through my catalog, man. Or you making it to Savings Day this year? Every time I say, yeah, I plan on coming, man, I think I'm gonna, then I end up not going, so I ain't gonna even say nothing. We'll see. Inshallah. We shall see, said the blind man. Appreciate that, Catalin Newport. Thank you for the love. Each one of y'all go watch an episode of the podcast tonight, no matter which one you watch. It's all love. One minute. I'm going back in time. Tipper Gore was trying to get Pac banned. She was trying to get everybody banned, boy. The Skills Collection album. I may have to do another one of those, Spiky. Yeah. Yeah, hit me up, Halfson. I got you, because when they gone, they gone. When they gone, they gone. But I'll save you one. I'll save you one. That was 2016, Brother Chris. Wow. Time be flying, man. Man, time be flying. I remember that. All right, family. I'll catch y'all later on, man. Peace.